All right, how's this? That sounds good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you sound like a fucking romantic.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Nick Reynolds, Steve Harness, and Cousin Brewski. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Yeah, I know those guys. Love hanging out with them a couple of times a week, at least from anywhere you are. You could do it. Welcome to The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski.
Yeah, I know those guys too. I give at least one of them a hand job on a regular basis. I won't say which one,
if not two. Sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, find us on the interweb, thevocalminority.net. We're coming soon to OnlyFans, but as of right now, it's just thevocalminority.net and social media sites, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X thing. What else? Oh, Instagram technically, and Reddit.
Yeah, you want to get mad? Call our comment line and do it there. You could reach us at 844-48-VOCAL, The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Brewski. It's like the pie on your ice cream.
Yeah, I'm all
Or
about
the ice cream on your pie, dude. Come on.
Hey, whatever way you want to do it, that's fine.
I was gonna say I'm more in favor of cream on pie, but that's also a fun night. My point is, I think we should maybe these comment sections. I should just reply with call us 844-48-VOCAL. I don't
That's
want
good.
Just
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got a real comment you want heard, call the number. Otherwise, I'm not responding.
Yes, and toll-free, kids, means it doesn't cost you anything. Not that, your parents are paying for your cell phone already, I assume, but give us a call, 844-48-VOCAL.
Yeah, we call it the Watts line. Anyone know what that means? Call me on the Watts line. Do you remember
I haven't heard
that?
that in a long time.
Oh,
Sure.
I don't remember that reference. What is that?
My dad, when I was a kid, he worked in downtown Seattle, and we lived in Maple Valley, so we're 25 miles outside of the city. It was actually long distance, which means we had to pay for it, kids, to call them. They had a toll-free number, but it wasn't called that. It was called a Watts line.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what they used to call it. So you can
Did
call
it
us.
start
on
with
our-
like Klondike 765 or something? Like
No, dude.
No. It's just a
800.
technical term, that's all.
I see. Yeah, remember 10 cents a minute and all that talk? All that's gone. Do we pay for calls for anything anymore?
Depends if you want to call
International.
from international. But my
Call
dad,
at night after 6 or something like that. Remember that was the rates were cheaper at night.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we got unlimited minutes after 9, so that's when I did most of my phone talking on cell phones. My dad used to give me an actual calling card to put in my wallet, like when I went out of the state or whatever. He'd be like, if you get in trouble, you can call anywhere, anytime with this, just type it in.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I used to check in with people by calling them collect and just yelling my message quickly.
I did
Because it would
too.
say, like, record your name. And I would just say, meet me at Cottage and Pizza. And,
I used to do it for my parents. I would, collect call from, I'll be home in 10 minutes,
Right.
or whatever, so.
exactly. You see, kids, the trials and tribulations we've had to go through. So.
Right. Yes. Progress is a good thing.
Indeed it is. So, yeah, we're on all the social stuff. Find us and spread it. And listen to the actual podcast as well. It's a fun thing. You can do it.
Our very own Cousin Brewski is not only a vendor salesman. What? No, we're doing the show, dude. He is also a man of town. He's a single man. He lives in Boston, and he goes to shows. He meets people. And John Cougar Mellencamp, I refuse to call him otherwise.
Cougar Mellencamp.
You went to see him, and we want to talk about your review of the show. But first, I don't know. I think both of you know now that John Mellencamp had another concert, and I believe it was in Ontario, and the crowd got involved. We were joking on the show last week before Brewski went to the show. Are you going to yell out song titles, stuff like that?
Yeah, call him John Cougar or tell him you want to bang his hot daughter. We were giving all sorts of good suggestions on stuff to yell.
Yeah. And Brewski told us, no, he is not a fan of people yelling shit out. Here's a clip to verify that. John Cougar Mellencamp showed up for this performance. He's telling a story, almost like a grandfather. He's in between songs. Some people talk a lot. John Cougar was telling a story like your grandpa would tell you.
Well, I shouldn't have said that, because here came that little arthritic finger right in my face, and she went, "It's just like you, buddy, to be a smart aleck." came in, you cocksucker.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, man. You don't fucking know me. Hey, Joe, find this guy and let me see him after the show.
He's sensitive.
Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted,
Oh God.
guys, I can stop this show right now and just go home.
Grandpa John.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Since you've been so wonderful, I'm going to cut about 10 songs out of the show. Here we go. A little ditty about Jack Diane. Tonight is kings going in the heartland. You know what? Show's over.
Takes off his guitar and walks off the stage.
Wow. First of all, you're right. He does sound like a grandpa. Just his voice is getting old and tattered, which I understand he's getting old, so I'm not, belittling
Sure.
that. But boy, I mean, that's a little butthurt pussiness going on there. To take one guy in the crowd, or even when the two or three others join him, and you punish the entire audience, that's a very Axl Rose thing to do. I expect better, Mr. Indiana. Although
Yeah.
Axl's from Indiana, maybe this is the do you see
Yeah.
what's in there? Apparently, singers from Indiana are sensitive little snowflakes.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's a good way to get that guy's ass kicked though too, because
Right.
then because and I fully endorse it. Get that guy's ass kicked by people around him in the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but he wanted a song. It's not like he called him a racist term or something.
No, but the thing about it, it's just like when you go to a show, sometimes that happens. I mean, hell, I went and saw REO Speedwagon years ago, and Kevin Cronin, between every damn song, would tell you a story about what he did where he came up with the song and all that.
Oh, I
stuff.
totally get it. Listen, VH1 has an entire show called Storytellers where the singers tell all the stories about their songs. I get it. I get why he's telling the story. I'm not admonishing him for doing the story. And obviously the guy was being a drunken asshole. But for Mellencamp to react so strongly and to punish the entire show, that's...
My brother goes to a lot of concerts, and he's one of those people who's always like, that concert sucked. Play the hits. I don't want any B-sides. And, he's really particular with what he wants to hear.
Sure.
I get it on one account, but on the other, it's like, this is basically play a song. Dance for me, monkey. Like, if you like me as an artist, you need to envelop me as an artist. If I talk a lot during my shows, dude, so many people would not go to see Dave because he talks between songs, and sometimes it's blathering. If you like him as an artist, you like him as a whole.
Right.
Otherwise, you just want him to be a jukebox. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. Listen, the guy with the audience member is being a douchebag, but John Mellencamp's being a little sensitive.
Yes.
And I actually saw an interview with him back in the late 80s where he had talked about the fact that he feels a lot of pressure to put on a good concert because, this husband and wife, they got a babysitter, they bought my tickets, this is a night out in the town. I know they want to hear Jack and Diane. I know, he spoke about the burden he feels to make sure he performs well, but apparently he's gotten over that in his old age.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you've been an artist for that long, and it's like, I'm still doing this to get a little cash, but I could walk off the stage. And he may have had, you have a contract to do a certain amount of songs, and maybe he fulfilled it with that quick little ditty about Jack and Diane.
I kind of wish that I had gone to go to the show in Boston, because this show was in Worcester, which is about 60 miles west of Boston.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rural towns outside of it. It was so many huge trucks that were parking in the parking garage. It was very much a rural crowd there. I felt very out of place. I really did.
You and your fancy glasses.
Liberal. You want to see things clearly, please.
So
Well, was he a storyteller for your concert, or is this an anomaly?
interesting you asked that question, because he had no opener.
No one warmed up the crowd? No comedian? No opening?
Oh no, he was playing movie clips on a screen. And you would have hated this, Steve, because it was all black and white movies.
Oh,
But
geez,
there was-
Grandpa John. Now he's playing black and white movies while he's yelling at the audience.
Before he started the show, they were playing a scene from a movie called HUD, which starred Paul Newman from 1964. It's a good movie,
God.
right? So this guy sitting next to me,
Is he playing Gone with the Wind, too?
this guy sitting next to me starts yelling and screaming, play some damn music, play some damn music. And he wouldn't shut up, and it was on my ear. And I turned to him like, hey, you know what? You yelling isn't going to fucking change them what they're going to do. And then his buddy next to him's like, is he complaining over there? He got something to say? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm fucking complaining. I got something to say. You're both being assholes.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Yeah, be careful, dude.
And the guy says to me, oh, yeah, well, you wait till after the show. I'm like, you know what?
Oh.
I'll be in the lobby. If you want to find me, just come and find me.
Did you wait out there?
Yeah.
I thought that was how just Massachusettsians. What are you guys called?
I don't know.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. Massholes.
Massholes. I thought that's how you massholes just said hello to each other. Like, yeah, you want to fucking meet me in the parking lot? I'll say hello to you out there. I'll shake your fucking hand.
But this guy was just like right on my ear, and the other people around were really uncomfortable before I said something. I'm sure they really got uncomfortable once I started threatening these guys. You know,
I'm sure. If I didn't know you and you threatened somebody next to me, like, and I thought it was going to be an altercation, I would be afraid of you. I'd be like, that dude looks fucking crazy, dude, and he looks strong and ready to go. Like, I better go get a
oh my God, I was just so bothered. And then like 4 songs into the show, they got up and went downstairs. I thought they were going to get a drink or something like that. But for somebody who was so concerned about Mellencamp playing music, they disappeared and never came back.
Did John C.M. come out in a gray prison jumpsuit for his attire? Like, was he wearing a jumpsuit?
No, he wasn't. He was wearing like kind of like black jeans, boots, t-shirt. At first I thought there were a bunch of people on stage with him other than the band.
Yeah.
Turns out they were like mannequins.
Oh, really? Yeah. What is Grandpa John doing?
Well, but it was 4 of them, and it was 2 males and 2 females, and it looked to me that they were like a typical nuclear family. You know, the 2 kids, mom and dad. They're all dressed
Jack
in
and
50s.
Diane and their kids? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know. He didn't say a word about the mannequins at all the entire show. We're just supposed to like figure out, I guess, what the hell they were up there for. Like,
He may have Alzheimer's settling in. I don't know if he knows what the mannequins are up there for.
they were selling his art in the lobby.
I love a musician who starts selling their art, dude. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Have you seen his art?
no, of course,
really
no
good.
one has. You? Oh, really?
Yes. It's really good.
Is it
And it
abstract? Why is it?
No, he does portraits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Did you buy
Yeah.
one?
I didn't have that kind of dough. Are you kidding me?
Oh, they're expensive.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm
They're
glad
not-
Grandpa John's expanding his hobbies.
He's been doing it for a bunch of years now.
So was he storytelling with you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it drone on and on, or did you feel it was an appropriate little story?
No, I thought a little banter between the, you know, I mean, I'll tell you what, when he was playing songs, you would have thought you were in like a roadhouse bar. Like everyone was hooting and hollering and getting into it. And he really seemed to really enjoy it, you know? I mean, there were people dancing.
What was number 1, dude, of the greatest song of the night?
Small Town. When he did Small Town to me, I thought that was a really, really good one. He did a really good job on that. And he waited till he was like three or 4 songs in before he did it because his voice was really warmed up at that point.
Did
But it
he
was a good
play
show.
ROCK in the USA? And did any conservatives ask you what does that spell?
He did play it, but nobody asked me.
Okay. Why is he giving us a spelling lesson? Damn it, just sing your song.
Well,
Did he fight some authority? And did
No.
Didn't play the authority song, really?
No.
wow.
I always thought the Bobby Fuller 4 should be suing John Mellencamp over that basic premise of that song. Nick, would you like to explain the reference I just threw out there?
Sure. Yeah, you're talking about Bobby Fuller 4, dude. They fought the law and the law won.
Right. And then a few years later, Mellencamp fights authority, and authority always wins. That
Always
seems to be the
wins.
same thing.
Yes.
It's a good experience all in all. You had a fun night?
Yes, I did.
Well, good times. Glad you had a fun concert night out. And Nick, do we know, did he actually end that concert in Canada? Did he ever come back on stage?
No, he left. Yeah, he walked out.
You see, Canadians are right. Americans are assholes.
I thought that concert when he walked out was in Indiana.
Oh, that would be hilarious if he did that to his hometown or his home state.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
'cause he's-
story I read, I thought it was Ontario. You could be right. I spread misinformation constantly. I'm glad you had fun at Johnny Cougar. And no music in Vegas for you, Steven?
Ah, yes. I had weekend in Vegas with my sisters. It was it was a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, it was a very prestigious event from what I can understand. You know,
Yeah.
they always say social media is made for the special moments in your life. You don't see any of the bads. If I was just gauging your weekend off your social media, I would say, like, dude, you had a great time. You ate fancy meals. You hung out with people you cared about. There were doctors receiving awards.
A major award, I will
People
say.
cheering. Yes. I mean, it looked like a great weekend.
Listen, all of that is true. You know, I did. It's fun to get to Vegas, period. I certainly had a good time with my sisters, my brother-in-law. And yeah, my father got the Lifetime Impact Award from the National Breast Cancer Society or something like that.
Huge.
That's
dude.
amazing. Yeah.
It was. And he gave a really good speech. There were some really motivational things in there. And, you know, he had this quote in there about you can't choose the music you dance to, but you can choose how you dance to it. Basically saying that when life throws you a curveball, like you don't have a choice but to receive it, but what you do with it is up to you. And that was cool. And he talked about finding your why, which is something we've been debating on this show. Like, what are we trying to do here? Like, should we be political? Should we swear? Should we not swear? Like, his thing was find your why. Like, why do you want to do this show? And then just do it. The masses will find you eventually. So
I always felt like that's a true statement, but it seems to the general population as so much easier said from the penthouse. You know what I mean? Like, find your why. I was able to do it, and so can you. Like, finding your why is a fucking bitch. It's true. Once you get there and you find your why, it's fantastic, but that's a process.
Exactly. It's like a lottery winner saying, hey, the key to success is just play the lottery. It worked for me, so it must
Keep
work
going.
for you.
You know, I believe there was a great philosopher who sang, "It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll."
Yes, that was a great philosopher, Bruce.
The great Bon Scott.
Congratulations to Dr. Harness. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been at this for such a long time, and this is, I mean, your dad is a special dude. I mean, has done so much for breast cancer, and people recognize him quite a bit for this, not only like publicly with awards like this, but like he's called on by doctors from all over the world about his procedures and stuff. Like, it's that's pretty cool, man. I love hearing good stuff about the good doctor.
I appreciate that. They highlighted his whole career, the books he's written, and the countries he's taught in, and all these things. And you know, it's humbling and impressive to see it all. And then I'm sitting there going, like, yeah, I'm a radio shock jock. Like, I don't know. Like, he's saving lives. I'm just annoying people. So, you know.
Isn't it funny, the contrast of, like, this is so different for me to look at because I didn't have to go, like Rachel always tells me, like, I feel I pale in comparison to her achievements and what she's doing for people in the world. She's like, all the stuff I do is not possible without you doing what you do behind the scenes. As a kid, and even as a man now, there was a lot of shit you had to go through for your dad to be that doctor. That, you know what I mean? So it's a time for reflection for you as well when you see your dad get that award of, like, the support, the emotional support, everything you put into that as well. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations, dude.
You're right, Nick. I do deserve an award as well. So.
Yes, and maybe just one of these.
But yeah, it was an interesting trip. The only negative that I just keep sucking myself back into is I wanted to be there with a woman. I wanted to go out and have fun and party. And, you know, my sisters and I had fun, but they're East Coasters. So by 8, 9 o'clock at night, they're ready for bed.
You got to do Vegas with this East Coaster.
I either needed a good buddy or I needed a woman. And that's just, you know, I had a certain amount of fun traveling alone and only worrying about myself, which is a new thing for me. I've always either had a woman or kids with me when I travel.
Right.
So that was a novelty. And yeah, Friday and Saturday nights, everyone else went to bed, and I just wandered around Vegas drunk, just sipping cocktails and going casino to casino. I wasn't hitting on anyone. I wasn't interacting with anyone. I was just roaming and observing the shenanigans that are Vegas.
Were you perving out at all? I mean, the eye candy in Vegas can be very impressive, you pervert.
I don't know why that's perverted, but yes, I have 2 eyes and was definitely observing all of that. Yeah. But again, it's depressing because there's just so much beauty and money everywhere in that town that it reminds me of the lack of beauty and money I have in my life. So, But yeah, I was trying to appreciate it. And speaking of money, holy shit, that town I think used to be affordable. That always was the premise, like cheap hotel rooms and cheap drinks to get you here so you gamble and go to shows and all this stuff. But holy shit, man, I spent at least $100 a day on alcohol just for myself.
Yeah, that's drinks aren't free
No,
anymore.
they're like $25 a cocktail. Think about that. If you go to a grocery store and spend $100, you could get enough alcohol to kill yourself. In Vegas, I could barely get a buzz off $100 worth of booze.
Hey, you should have just played penny slots, dude. I mean, you just kept getting the free drinks, you know?
That's funny. No one in my party gambled once. Not at all.
But you got to go to the right places too. I told you to go to Slots of Fun. You
I
could
know.
you could have gone to Slots of Fun.
I know. Brewski did give a very nice circus,
I'm
infomercial.
telling. But there are a lot of great places that aren't on the strip where you can actually drink pretty cheap.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I was in the heart of it. I was right there by the Bellagio, the Pair. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in the most tourist part, and I wasn't going to hop an Uber or anything, so I was just going as far as I could walk around.
Of course.
Yeah, it was insanely expensive, and I can't even imagine the amount of sugar I drank. I was drinking tequila sunrises all day and all night, and it wasn't until the last night where I was like, just give me a shot of tequila. Just take all that other crap out of there. So
Yeah, get something
too bad-
pure.
they had a little burlesque show I was sitting and watching, which was fun for like 5 minutes, and then, So yeah, I was out roaming around. I will say, speaking of the beauty, I did a little experiment while I was in Vegas, and I switched my Hinge profile to being in Vegas, to dating there. I mean, first of all, the raw number of women on that app in a major city like that is just depressing to me. And maybe Vegas is similar to like Los Angeles or something, where beautiful women go there to work, to be whatever, a hostess, a bartender, a burlesque dancer, whatever.
Be recognized.
Yeah, but God, there were so many women on those apps and so many good-looking ones.
What did they say? What did the majority of them say, though, Steve?
Vegas locals only.
Yes.
Because I'm sure they're constantly getting hit on from, tourists coming to town.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, part of my experiment was I just want to see what's the quality in this town. And, yeah, it made me sad to see how many insanely beautiful women there were. And there were several that I messaged that something started until they realized I didn't live there, and then they shot me down. So I was just thinking, like, God, in 1 hour, I had like 10 conversations going. If I lived here,
why didn't you up your knowledge on Vegas and just pretend you lived there, dude?
well, I mean, I don't know what good that would have done to say, like, come in the casinos because I don't have a car, and I'm going to hope you're a whore that will bang me up one night.
That was your goal, dude. So,
well, that was the other experiment. I wanted to see, it's a dating app, right? All these polyamorous, all these non-monogamous, and you're in Vegas, Sin City. Like, how easy or hard is it to set up a one-off when you're traveling alone in Vegas like that? I found it to be difficult, at least on Hinge. I told myself, like, you guys know, I'm not a one-night stand kind of guy.
Yeah.
I thought maybe if there's some crazy fantasy scenario, maybe I'll say yes. But I was really more just testing the waters out of experimentation, boredom to come talk about it. And
yeah,
I found a lot of non-monogamous women on there, but not a lot of interaction going on.
That's odd because I don't see a lot of those profiles on Hinge here, at least. Here, it seems like it's a lot of women looking for, monogamous, long-term relationship.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was on the wrong app for it. I mean, I wasn't going to sign up for Bumble or Tinder because those would have been the better ones to do it on. I was hoping to find some nice Midwestern couple where the guy's like, I want to be cuckold. Like, I'll just watch you bang my hot wife who's a school teacher. And,
Tinder. You should have had Tinder on there.
Right.
Then you would have really seen how it worked,
What happened to Facebook, dude? I thought that was the dirty Craigslist of today.
I'm convinced Facebook dating is not even a real app because I don't get any activity on that thing here, there, anywhere. Like, there's nothing going on in there. I think women signed up 20 years ago and have just left a profile there because it's the worst app. And our dating coach told us you get what you pay for, and Facebook is free.
Right. Well, here's a funny Facebook dating story for you. I responded to this woman on Facebook, and I thought she looked familiar. And it turns out that she used to be married to this guy I went to high school with, and he was really good friends with some buddies of mine. But then she was just like, I know you know my ex-husband, even though you knew him a long time ago. Thank you for sending me a message, but I can't. Have a good night.
That's the pro and con of Facebook, because you can be connected to real people through that thing. So yeah, it was fun during the day. We did the Fremont Street experience. I did the zip line. We did random shenanigans. And
did you go to Binion's Horseshoe Casino?
We did. And,
Did you have a drink on the saddles outside?
no, I did not do that actually.
Right on Fremont Street, there's a bar at Binion's. Instead of bar stools, they actually have saddles, and you sit on the saddle and you have a drink. Because
Oh,
Benny
that's funny.
Binion, the guy who founded Binion's, he used to be a cattle rancher in Texas and Montana and stuff like that.
I gotcha. My sisters wrote a couple of Chippendale dancers out soliciting photographs.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
got some good pictures there that they didn't want to share on Facebook. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
Another part of it, as I'm out roaming around the strip by myself, drunk and stoned and all that stuff, is, I live in a casino town, and I've learned a lot about the operations of casinos, from the marketing to the staffing, and I just found myself really observing it on a different level this trip. Again, because I was alone and just observing everyone. But, I picked up on a lot of the nuances of how the staff come and go and the marketing techniques they do. And this brings me to what I texted you guys about.
Oh.
So I'm going to try to explain this verbally for anyone listening on the podcast. But if this clip makes it onto social media, I'll add the pictures we're referencing.
Okay.
So, do you guys have the pictures? These are two signs that I sent you from casinos. Although
Yes.
one of them is for a club called Vex, VEX, and that was actually a club here in Lake Tahoe. And then I sent you one for Brewski just referenced it, the Horseshoe, which Brewski, give us the quick history on the Horseshoe.
Binion's Horseshoe is down on Fremont Street, but this horseshoe that you sent me the picture of is the one that the old Bally's, and Bally's just took the name back from Caesars because they're changing the name of another casino at the other end of the strip.
Right. So we all know, there's been lots of famous documentaries and stories about this, that casinos are set up very psychologically to manipulate you.
Yeah.
The best example is the fact that you'll never find a clock inside of a casino because they don't want you to know what time it is. They don't want you to think it's getting late and to leave.
No windows.
Right. No windows. Casinos are set up to be a sensory overload. They are not set up in an even flow. They want you getting confused and lost in those places. Like, there's a lot of psychology that goes on with casino operations and marketing. So I had a friend here in Tahoe. Caesars owns a couple of casinos up here. And I worked with this one marketing woman for years, and we got, somewhat friendly. And she started telling me about Caesars in particular, that their company, that they do a lot of basically suggestive or subliminal marketing, particularly with the names of their clubs and restaurants and things like that. Mm-hmm. So the first sign I sent you is a nightclub called Vex, VEX.
Yeah.
When you look at that, though, does it read any other way to you than Vex?
Sex.
And why is that?
Well, it's because the V has a tail going off it, so it
Yeah.
almost looks like an S.
Yes. One side of the V is long and it has an angle out. When you look at it kind of, squinting or quickly, the VEX actually looks like SEX, and they 100% did that on purpose.
Makes
She
you
explained
horny?
this whole thing to me. Yeah, it's the old subliminal advertising where they used to flash the word sex in advertising because just,
Yeah.
sex gets you thinking and whatnot. So Caesars there, they intentionally made Vex look like an S so that subliminally you would pick it up as sex and think it's a fun club and you can get laid and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then I noticed another example when I was on the strip. And yes, I was a little drunk and looking at things kind of haphazardly, but the Horseshoe Casino. So Brewski pointed out to me earlier that, and as he just explained, that there are other Horseshoe casinos. However, when Caesars took over that place, or maybe when they handed it to Bally's, I don't know, but Caesars had their hands in this at one point, they changed the logo. The word, the Binion's Horseshoe, it just says Horseshoe. There's no logo or anything else around it. But you'll notice now on this newest logo, it says Horseshoe in writing, but then it has a gold horseshoe at the beginning in front of the word Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, is there any other way you read that? Is there anything subliminally that comes across to you for that?
Yes. I'll tell you two things. First of all, the horseshoe looks like a big penis, okay?
Okay.
But I read it as whores and hoes.
Thank you. Or
Yes.
whorehouse. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Whore and hoe, like there's women in this place, and here's a big giant dick, to show you the way.
Exactly. Adding that horseshoe, it looks like a W. So horse is HORSE, whore is WHOR or WHORE.
Right.
And then, horseshoe ends with HOE, hoe. So yeah, at first I read that as whorehouse, and then I started looking at it as like whores, whores and hoes, but I guarantee you that Caesars did that intentionally, adding that horseshoe to the front of it. To instead of just saying horseshoe, it looks like W horseshoe, which essentially spells whorehouse or whores and hoes.
Yeah, no, that's funny, dude. I mean, I don't know that I would have picked up on it had I just been walking by, but subliminally. That's the point. That's the whole point, right? So, yes, that's exactly. Interesting. You were
Brewski, does your eyes read that way?
I wouldn't have thought of it that way, but I see what you guys were meaning when you were asking me to look at it. I was looking at it intently while you were describing what you were.
Yeah, is it giving you a boner?
No.
You thinking about whores and hoes, though, dude?
Well, when is that any other difference?
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to get it off your mind. We get it. But you were very analytical on this trip, walking around, inspecting Vegas and the seedy side, manipulative side of Vegas. That's interesting for you being there alone and being a little high and drunk, just walking around.
Yeah. It was a different experience because it was very singular and I wasn't interacting. So, yeah, I was just purely observing and people watching and trying to pick up on the, like I said, the sort of behind the scenes working of how I know casinos operate. And I just thought that was hilarious. I had a huge billboard right on the strip, whorehouse, whores and hoes, however you want to read it. That's why they added that horseshoe to the front of it. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. You did see semi-nude women. You went to a burlesque show for a little while, right?
Yeah, I mean, burlesque is, they're wearing lingerie, best case scenario. They had the big poofy skirts on. I mean, I was not going to go pay for a strip club or anything like that. So that was a good excuse to sit there and drink alone and watch a little burlesque action going on. But
did it get you horny? I mean, let's be honest.
Listen, this freaking trip, I have developed a Pavlovian response to hotel rooms. Hotel rooms make me so freaking horny. And being in Vegas, party town, and the only other time I'd been there was with a woman and we did party. And it was so depressing how wound up I was. I've realized that some of my best sexual experiences in life have been in hotel rooms. And it's just solidified this connection that hotels just make me horny. And in Vegas, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depressing as crap.
Well, do you think there is any private cameras behind mirrors that got you, jerking your turkin, dude, or what? I mean,
jerking your gherkin.
As we talked about in the previous show, I make sure to always put my A game on when in a hotel because just in case it ends up on Pornhub or OnlyFans. I mean, I don't want to let anyone down. So, yeah. Those windows are tinted, right? No one can see in those windows.
No,
right?
You're fine.
So,
nice.
I did do a decent amount of drinking alone and went to various bars. Again, I'm shit-faced, but I know how to maintain myself. And that's always the trick because you won't get served if you're being a sloppy drunk or you can get kicked out of places nowadays. So, I made sure to maintain myself very well. But I came across an article here that I think we should dissect that sort of ties into concerts in Vegas and all this. It's annoying things that you're doing at a bar according to the bartenders.
That's nice because you want the bartender to like you, dude. I mean, that's the way you get strong drinks, fast service. You that's a good relationship to really work into.
Yeah, you need someone to slip the roofie in the drink. If you do it, then you're culpable. But if the bartender, and the stiffness of drinks, that varies greatly bartender to bartender. So maybe these are etiquette things, but I think these are either things that you should self-evaluate if you are doing them, or as always, if we agree or disagree with whether these things are rude. But it's the old don't go off on the waiter because someone's spitting in your food. Like you want the bartender to like you. So these are some tips. The first one they say is snapping, yelling, or whistling at me.
Yeah, dude, come on. This is 2024, and hopefully none of those things are happening towards wait staff anywhere, but they seem to. I see people doing when I'm out and about. Like, there is an appropriate way, a polite way to get someone's attention. First of all, you'll know that most bartenders, especially when it's so busy, if you just make eye contact with them at some point, like try and make eye contact, they see you, they know you're waiting, they're going to be there as soon as they are able.
The good ones, yes.
Yeah.
But come on, we've all been at a crowded bar, right, where you're fighting to get a drink and it seems like it's taking forever. How can you not be waving your hand? Or, hey, man, I feel like sometimes in a busy bar, you're never getting a drink if you don't get their attention somehow.
I think it's okay to put your finger up and, just be like, I am here to order, but like, be patient.
No snapping the fingers and saying, yo, buddy, yo.
Hey,
or, garçon boy,
Yeah.
That's fair, but yeah, it is a struggle getting a hold of getting that eye contact. So I don't know. So yeah, don't snap, yell, or whistle, but I do think it's appropriate to put some level of effort into making sure they see you and acknowledge you.
Sure. Also, be a good bar buddy. Do you know what I mean by that? Listen, if you are, with the scenario you just painted, at a busy bar where everyone is funneling up to this station to get a drink, okay? Mm-hmm. If the people around you, be good bar buddies. A lot of the time, if you're very nice, I'll buy your beer. If you're behind me, like if you're very nice to me and not trying to push ahead of me, like I'll be like, and whatever this guy, if this guy wants a beer or whatever.
The thought never occurred to me. You're such a good guy.
I've had it happen to me before where the person in front of me, maybe we got to the thing at the same time and they went first and they've been like, and whatever he wants, just be conscious and courteous to the people around you. Wow. Please.
That's a novel concept in this day and age, but
true.
Okay. I'll go with that. This one seems odd to me and sometimes almost impossible. Unwarranted touching and comments. Comments I get, but touching? The article says this should go without saying, but keep your hands to yourself. Touching your bartender is inappropriate. Additionally, keep any judgments on appearance to yourself. Sexualizing anyone, bartender or not, is unacceptable. Telling someone to smile is also unnecessary. Who's doing this to the bartender?
I'm sure there are plenty of dudes that do it to female bartenders. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would think you're right, but I would think also you got a bunch of drunk biatches in there and there's a hot guy bartender behind there. They always feel like they could touch,
Yes.
Turns into a Chippendale show all of a sudden.
Yes, dude. And can you imagine how annoying it would get as you're working, and especially if some old dick or told you, smile, sweetheart, you look like you're having no fun.
Right. I mean, first of all, everyone seems so far away, like touching. Maybe when they go to give you the drink, you try to touch their hand or something. Otherwise, touching them.
Yeah.
But I would love to know the success rate of hitting on a female bartender. How many times that ends well, where she was like, "You're the man. I want you. Let me go blow you in the back." Or
I've been waiting.
Yeah, please.
Exactly. That's funny.
It's like strippers. They don't go home with the guy shoving dollar bills in their panties. I don't think the bartender's going home with some drunk guy ordering drinks. But
right.
Well, good luck to you. The next one on the list is not knowing. Oh, I would kill someone. Not knowing what to order after you flag the guy down or the girl. You get them over, and now you're like, what's the menu or what do I want? Like, I may ask for advice. Like, do you have a good IPA or something? Like, I'll do that. That's okay, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, but not knowing what you want, it's appropriate to say what you said, like ask a quick question like that, or you could say dealer's choice. Make me what you want. If you don't know what you want, just order a dealer's choice, dude. I don't want to let you fumble. Obviously, you don't know alcohol, and that's okay. But you should look at it a little before a busy bar attempt. That's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, I've asked what's on tap before, and I've had bartenders just point over at the taps and just stare at me.
Yeah. How did you feel about that?
Belittled and like a dick, and I didn't tip.
Well, you didn't think to look at the tap, though?
Again, busy bar. Like, I'm at some corner. Like, hey, man, what's on tap? Like, I don't need to be belittled because I didn't go over and examine the other end of the bar and then go down to the side where I thought I could flag you. And you're just treating me like an idiot. So, no, I don't appreciate it.
All right. Well, it may be your problem.
Do you guys agree? Should you always look at the taps yourself, or is it?
Yes. I mean, do you have any idea how busy they are going back and forth? This is not a time to sell you a drink, right? I'm just taking money, giving you what you ask for. So what's on tap? Beer. I mean, what do you want?
If I think I'm going to want a beer, I'll ask them, hey, do you have a beer list? And they'll give you the beer list, and then they'll go walk away.
Yeah,
and then they'll come back. and they'll say, and now at this point I've planted the seed in their head. Okay, this guy wants a drink. I'm giving him the beer list. I can go do other things. They come back to me, and I've had time to look at the beer list.
Listen, in some of these modern bars where they have like taps upon taps, there's 50 beers.
Sure.
Obviously, that's a moron question, but there's many bars I just walk up to, and I don't know. I'm not examining the taps. I just walk right up. Hey, what do you got on tap? Expecting there to be 5 options, and I'll pick one. Like, sorry.
I think that's acceptable if you're being waited on at a table where you're having more one-on-one experience, or if the bartender's not busy. I think that's a appropriate question. But if I'm wheeling, dealing, cocktailing it up with Tom Cruise, I would say the same thing. The tap's right there. You pick whatever you like, brother.
All right. Well, you're not going to tip either. So
I've had your tip.
Right. How about this one? Touching the garnishes. To put it simply, the garnish station is not a buffet. Stop touching those things and don't take one and eat one.
So gross, dude. Well, you see, that was in Pretty Woman, where they would just go to the garnish station and use it as their food, as their meal. That's so gross, dude. I don't think those should be kept at the front of the bar for people to touch.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know why they put them in a position where you could even grab at them. I mean, it's almost one thing, like, I'm just going to grab a lime, but I don't know.
No.
You shouldn't be serving.
Ask the bartender for it.
Yes.
But they're busy, and they're belittling people that don't know what's on tap. Like, I just
but here's the thing, though. Do you want everybody who wants a lime to go reaching their dirty fingers inside there? Now all those dirty fingers from all those people who are picking their nose and smoking cigarettes or whatever like that, now all that crap is in there. Let the bartender do it for you.
Well, it saves adding the lime and the salt. Like, if people are touching it, there's salt on the lime already. So I'm just trying to cut off the middle.
I know you wouldn't do that. I know you're messing around.
I am. But, I have seen people grab at the garnishes. So. How about this? Classifying a drink as girly. Never be ashamed of what you're going to order, how it's served. Some bartenders have different views on glassware or things that they should be serving a guy. But, I used to always love a strawberry daiquiri. Sorry, it tastes good. I can't tell you how many bartenders belittled me for ordering a
chick drink.
Daiquiri.
I expect better from you. Come on.
That's what it's just said. Don't belittle it as being girly. I'm drinking vodka that's strawberry flavored. Why is that girly?
I think you're right, dude. Most of the time, it's bartenders. It'll be like, you want that? Like, that's a pussy drink.
Yeah. I had a bartender tell me once, like, I haven't made one of those in 20 years. Let me see if I even remember how. Let me see. Do we have a blender here? This guy wants a daiquiri?
Is your teenage daughter with you in the bathroom?
If you really want a drink that tastes good, that's easy for them to make, just order a Dirty Shirley, which is basically
Shirley Temple with alcohol?
Exactly. It's a Shirley Temple with vodka in it. Or order a Cape Cod, which is basically vodka and cranberry juice. Can't beat that. You know what I mean? Super easy.
Interesting. I used to get made fun of for ordering Long Island iced teas.
I
tell people, like, do you understand there's like 5 different liquors in that thing? Like, I'm the hardcore one. You're the pussy. You got one liquor in your drink?
I think, what it is that a lot of times bartenders hate when you order those things because it's so much work to make it. There's so much different bottles they gotta do and all that sort of thing. It's a pain in the ass.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
that brings us right to the next one. Not reading the room. Bartenders agree that you should spend your money however you'd like, but there are certain drinks you shouldn't order at a busy bar because it's time intensive. They quote a Ramos Gin Fizz as their example, but I guess a Long Island would be a good one too.
You need to know where you're at and what the crowd's like before you make your order. I used to go to this bar and the drink, I can't remember what I ordered, but the classic version of it had egg whites that were frothed and put on top.
The Ramos Gin Fizz has egg whites that get frothed. So there you go.
And so, I remember going there and asking, do you guys do that? And he was like, yeah, we can do that. And then the next time I went in there, it was real busy. And I asked for one of those. And he was like, not tonight, man. That must be a real thing. And you bad on me. Here's a labor-intensive drink.
Now, how about this one? This seems preposterous to me, but according to this article, it's not. Stealing Obviously, stealing is a crime, but head bartender Laura Utberg of the Fox Bar and Cocktail Club says that the bar spends thousands of dollars every year replacing stolen glassware, garnish picks, menus, ashtrays, and a variety of other items. Do you ever steal glasses or anything like that from a bar?
Sometimes, yeah. You know what? I don't think I've ever stolen a glass, but I have stolen an ashtray from a bar more than once, to be honest with you. And I've got a nice collection of ramekins at my house. Do you know what a ramekin is?
No.
Ramekin is just a little dish that they put like your ranch in on the side. If I want a to-go box and you bring me a to-go box, I want my sauces with it. So if you don't bring me something to put them in, I'm just going to steal your ramekins, So I have probably, 15 up in my cupboard.
That's hilarious. Brewski, you ever pocket anything from bars?
Every so often you steal a glass here and there.
You do?
I've never heard of this. That is hilarious.
Well, because like sometimes, like let's say you had, say there was a really cool, Budweiser glass that they served a pint to you in or something like that.
You're stealing the logo.
Yeah.
Do you ever take a neon sign? I mean, those are awesome, right?
No. Well, because here's the thing, though. A lot of times the glassware with the logos on them like that,
yeah,
they get those from the beer reps.
You could apply the same logic, though, to those neon signs, because most of those they don't pay for either. They come from Budweiser.
Yeah, okay. Well, you try taking one of those down and carrying it away. Those things are no joke. And on top of that, if you're drunk and you fall, forget it. It's toast.
Listen, I know a lot of bars, especially small town bars, that have, the back of the bar is a mile away from anywhere else. Pool tables and stuff. You could grab a bar, go out the back door easy, or grab a sign and go out
You've
the back.
never stolen anything from a bar before?
Not that I can even think of. No, I don't even know how I'd get out of there with a glass. Like, that'd have to be the last thing you do, I guess, for the night. But no, I don't.
I once stole a plate from IHOP.
Why?
You wanted it at home, the IHOP plate?
Part of it was that it said IHOP on it. It still had a stack of pancakes on it, and I put it inside between my arm and my ribs, and I had my leather jacket on over it. So I'm like walking out like I'm all hulking out and that sort of thing. And I walked out with a stack of pancakes.
Well, yeah. I guess that's why they included it on this list. Apparently it happens. Now, I will say a lot of bartenders steal. You know what I mean? Like over-serving, you're stealing from the owner of that bar.
Oh, yeah. You ever seen Bar Rescue? Come on, John
Yes.
Taffer will tell you, dude. I mean, and they're a lot of the time skimming the cash register. I mean,
They're usually over-serving to try to get better tips out of you, so they're making more. But yeah, you're stealing from the bar. So I got two last ones here. That these are things bartenders say you should not be doing in bars, and these are kind of related. Dancing in the bar area. Don't clear, the floor area around the bar. It says this applies to blocking staff and passages. You're making a spectacle out of yourself. Like, I don't know, dancing in the bar area. I don't dance at bars, so this probably doesn't apply to me very much. But Brewski, do you find it annoying when? I mean, maybe if it's a hot chick, it's okay. But
yes, absolutely. If it's a hot chick and she's just kind of dancing and shaking her ass a little bit and that sort of thing, I can deal with that. I can be all right with that.
What if it's a bar that doesn't have dancing? Because if there's a dance floor, then obviously you should be dancing, but on the dance floor. But I've been in some random bars where, some couple just gets up in the middle of all the tables or by the bar and starts dancing.
No, I don't want to watch a couple dancing. If it's like a bunch of chicks that are like, shaking their ass a little bit and that sort of thing, I'm A-okay with that. Because that's different, I don't want to watch some dude and this lady dancing or anything like that.
What about on the bar, dude? What about dancing on the bar?
Coyote Ugly style, right?
Yeah, you know what? If you want to watch me grab your heel and pull it out so you fall down, you try dancing on the bar in front of me.
Even if it was a beautiful person?
No, it's a chick that's different. Like I said, It's different if it's a woman. She has to be attractive. If you're not attractive, no. Then dude rules apply.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes reverse sexism works out for women. There's this special caveat we all have, like, well, if you're hot, I'll let you get away with a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have the same thing. I mean, if you're hot, if you're rich, I'll let you get away with all sort of stuff.
That was another thing I observed walking around Vegas that I sent Nick a drunk text about. Like, I'm walking around Vegas and I'm thinking, I am so much taller than everybody. People keep telling me how tall I am, but when I get around thousands of people and 9,999 of them are shorter than me, I really start to feel tall. But then I wonder, like, how are all these midget men getting these freaking beautiful women? And what's the answer?
Were you at a little person's
Fat wallet, baby.
Exactly.
convention?
Money outweigh. Apparently, they put stacks of hundreds in their shoes, and that lifts them up. But no, Nick, I'm in public. And
How tall are you? What's your height, dude? Be honest.
6'2".
6'2". All right.
Yeah.
So you are 3 inches taller than the average male. Okay.
Yeah, if you base it on averages. I'm just saying, most people seem to be 5'8", 5'10". I mean, it really stuck out to me.
This is what I'm thinking, though. Do you think that those short men are rich because they have to work so much harder to get what they want?
To get a woman, yes, I do think that now.
That's why they're rich, dude. That's why so many rich men are short. Okay. Do you ever see that?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. They got to compensate somehow, for sure. I
Yeah.
didn't realize how much of an obsession that was to women to have tall guys. So, yeah, these short dudes have to be compensating somehow.
Yeah. I'd like to point out I have a woman and I'm 5'10" and a half. So it's still doable. Okay.
And how tall is Rachel, though?
She's 5'6".
Right. So you're taller than her. Women
Yeah.
want men that are taller. So if a woman's 5 foot or 5'6", that opens up the categories wide. But, these beautiful Amazon women and whatnot, I mean, yeah, they really like tall guys. And, yeah, for some reason, it was just standing out to me as I'm walking around, like, over everybody.
It's so funny. Did
Have
you
you seen
tell
this new-
anyone? You're so fucking short, dude.
No, but I looked at a lot of women like, hey, come on, buffet right here. All you can eat. I mean, look how tall I am.
Yeah.
The
That
hell?
is so funny, dude.
There's a trend on TikTok right now of women with taller guys where they set up a camera at the guy's height and they film themselves looking up at the camera to see what does it look like when my husband looks at me. And all of these women, their minds are blown of like, they feel like I'm asking for upsies from daddy. Like, I didn't realize how, when my man looks down at me, like how much shorter I am and how much that must make me feel like less of a person.
Yeah, no, it makes you feel real powerful looking down at a little baby that's your wife,
Right.
Yeah.
The last one on the list I'll throw out. So, dancing in the bar area can be obnoxious unless you're really hot. But what about just excessive PDA in a bar? And this is a tricky one because it's a bar. It's a single scene. You're either out with your person partying or you're trying to meet people. So where do you draw the line on PDA in a bar?
I think it's, again, if you're hot. If you're hot, it's okay. But
If she's hot and you're Tom Cruise midget size.
I think the minute that the penis is inserted into the mouth in the bar, I think that's where we probably want to draw the line.
That's a pretty high bar to set. So anything prior to
I don't
oral,
know.
you're okay with.
That's
I
interesting.
don't know. I think when you start really getting to heavy petting or like somebody putting their hands in pants while you're making out and that sort of thing, I think at that point it's like, get a room, will you?
Yeah. Do we agree, though, there's different standards for Starbucks versus a bar?
Sure,
Or
that's
PDA.
there's a time and a place.
Does PDA go down in Starbucks?
No,
I've seen PDA anywhere before. I mean, grocery store, shopping malls, anywhere in just general public. I hate PDA. I won't do it myself. It bothers me when people do it. But a bar or a nightclub?
what's your definition of PDA?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are we talking like hand holding?
No. Like making out,
Smooching?
basically.
Oh, okay.
A kiss is okay. A lingering kiss or anything that borders on making out or groping, like you were saying. Like,
Yeah.
no, not in public.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Yeah.
But at a bar, I'm like, hey, nice job, dude. Like,
You give it the high five. I just don't. I guess I don't notice it. I mean, enough to care. So yeah, whatever.
Same with a concert. I'll let you get away with a whole bunch at a concert because we're all out partying, drinking, have at it, What about the any woman willing to have sex with you in a bar bathroom? Is that a gigantic red flag, or did you hit pay dirt that night?
Depends how old you are. Okay, if you're a younger person, any age, no.
So if you're 22, it's okay, but 52, no?
Yeah, I think if you're 22, you go experiment, do your thing. But if you're 40, even 42, and a girl is willing to just go in the bathroom with you, I think you probably might as well be just fucking the toilet. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm 53, obviously. And if a chick tells me she wanted to give me a knobber in the toilet, I'd lead her in there. No problem whatsoever.
So there you go. Pay dirt for Brewski and gross for Nick and I.
Well, have you ever had a Blumpkin, Brewski?
I don't know what a plumpkin is.
Have you ever been taking a shit and had someone give you a blowjob on the toilet
no.
while you're taking a shit? No, you've never done that. Okay.
The singer in my old band once told me that was his criteria for his wife. He said, as soon as I meet a woman willing to blow me while I'm taking a dump, I'm marrying her.
Really?
That's a weird standard you've got there.
Yeah, that's
odd.
that is weird. Yeah.
Right. I find it weird that you guys will take a dump or pee in front of your significant others, asking them to perform oral on you while taking a dump. That's asking a lot.
Well, I won't poop in front of my significant other, but I told you there were times when I would pee in front of Jen, and there were times when she wanted to hold it while I peed so she could like do the fire hose thing, you know?
Listen, if you are taking a poo, okay, and the door, if I leave the door open and I'm taking a poo, if you are out wandering, I don't expect you to stop at the door and have a convo with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? But you know what I'm doing in there. And you just walk by, and every once in a while I'll hear a oof, woof. And,
Close the door.
No, I'm not closing the door. This is my palace. This is my palace. Okay,
Courtesy flush at least.
I'll take care of you on that.
Okay.
And I have water drops. You know, I keep it between the lines, but I'm not going to close the door, dude. Come on.
Everyone's got different definitions of love. So
Yes, they do. All right. Well, I think we have learned how to be appropriate in a bar. So
yeah, there's
you
some
could
good tips in there.
be a jackass at a bar. We see them all the time, dude. There's always one jackass in the bar. You see him every time you go out. So
yeah. And you know what they say? If you don't see the jackass, it's you.
that's right.
Yeah, it's true.
So listen to this podcast, share this with your jackass friends who are bastards in bars, and see if you can clean up their act a little bit.
Give us a call. Give us your comments on this, that, or anything else. 844-48-VOCAL. That's a telephone number. That phone you use for social media, there's an actual phone on it, and you could use it to call us.
That's right. As you're scrolling through social media, find us on all the major sites and visit us on our webpage, thevocalminority.net. This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski. And Brewski, please.
Goodbye.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Check. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Nick Reynolds, Steve Harness, and Cousin Brewski. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Take one.